we need to talk about open redirections because they don't get as much attention as they should, simply because of the fact that they don't directly damage a website. Now, what is an open redirect? Well, if you, for example, fill in a URL here in my lab, it's going to automatically direct you to that URL. That might not seem like a terrible thing, but if a scammer redirects you to their own website, like for example, if this was a very reputable website, which it definitely isn't, if a website ever calls itself Hexpert, well, then you probably know that there are some, sorry about that, then you probably know that there are some exploits available. So as for this lab, like we said, it's going to direct you to their own website, and then it's going to seem like you're clicking on the Hexpert URL. Well, in fact, it's going to redirect you to the scammer's website. And an example of that can be a banking website, for example. That banking website might have an open redirect somewhere, and it's usually not going to be this visible. It's not going to be an input box that says URL, but what it's going to be is it's going to be a parameter somewhere. Some get parameter which is hidden somewhere, for example, and that might redirect you from one side of the page to another side of the page. For example, if you have two subdomains that are two applications, but you click on one, you don't want to log into the other, so it's going to redirect you, blah, blah, blah. Well, that redirect might, if it's not properly controlled, the attacker might insert their own URL there. So he's going to craft his own version of the banking website, and then he's going to send you there with the URL of the real website. As you can see, companies can lose quite a lot of credibility like this. So as a bug bounty hunter, it's often not accepted. I know, just look in the out of scope section and sometimes it'll say open redirects not accepted. Okay, that's a shame. In pen testing, it's often reported as a low/medium vulnerability, something along those lines. And there are, of course, some filters possible, and there are some bypasses possible, as with everything. But in general, if you see an open redirect, it's going to be pretty easy to spot, and you generally won't have too much trouble working around filters. So that's it for open redirects. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next chapter.